Well, hello there. How is everyone? I hope you are all well on this stupendous Sunday. That's it. It's Sunday. I think it's only just actually Sunday for you because it's like 5 a.m. here. What is it? No, it's 4:34 a.m. and I'm on it already. I'm on it. You're looking amazing, by the way. I probably don't look amazing because I'm yet to sleep. Some things just sometimes get in your head, and you struggle with things, and this Idaho 4 case has been one of those, I think, which has kind of affected a lot of us because we want it to be right, we want it to be proper. Like some people, the trolls will accuse content creators of doing stuff for money that they've got no real morals. They're just, there's nothing. It's not important to them. But let me just tell you something. This case is important. It is important to a lot of content creators, and regardless of what the trolls say and what they think the reasons are behind the coverage of it, it's not always about clicks, views and money. Sometimes content creators are kept up at night because their desire for things to be right and to be proper and for the victims of these crimes to actually get the justice that they deserve is something that keeps them up at night. It just is. And this led me to stumbling across a story, and it was about the FBI. And this story made me kind of think about the Idaho 4 case and the Bryan Kohberger situation and what we're seeing unfold with this gag order. This gag order and everything being hush-hush, and some sort of similarities whenever you see something being gagged and the reasonings behind it. And one thing that always stood out to me was that what seems to be being protected is the investigative techniques used. It seems that it's not so much that they want to protect the people, the victims and the people who were potential witnesses and so on. It's about protecting how they get to the results that they get to, protecting the things that they use and the methodology used in the capturing of the accused. That seems to be what's important. And that's not the first time. And it's also not the first time that, in fact, they have let people off. This is the FBI, that they have dropped charges against accused people in order to protect the methodology used, because it was more important to them to allow dangerous people to continue doing dangerous things than it was to disclose the methodology used in capturing these exact people. And if you're wondering what I'm talking about, this was about, in 2015, the FBI were tipped off about a dark web site called Playpen. Now, Playpen was, at the time, one of the largest child exploitation sites there was. It was huge. And what happened is the FBI managed to basically hijack this site and take control of it. But not only did they hijack it and take control of it, they fucking upgraded it. They upgraded it and made it better, made it work more efficiently. And what they would then, in essence, do is they would use malware in order to capture the details of people who were using this site. But there is then a problem, because there is now two issues here. And like I say, this would eventually lead to charges being dropped against people involved in this Playpen case because the FBI were unwilling, like I said, they were unwilling to disclose the details of the methodology used to capture the people, to actually say what happened. In effect, what happened was that they designed a Trojan horse, if you like, a malware that would grab the IP addresses of everybody that was using this site. And because this was an autonomous thing and it would just spread indiscriminately across everybody, there was an issue with constitutional rights then. And I suppose it's like the Idaho 4 case. You have to then ask yourself a serious question. That is, look, we can always sit on the fence and say innocent until proven guilty. But what if the FBI... and let me just step up. Let me back up. Like I say, we can sit on the fence and say we're innocent until proven guilty. But it doesn't stop there being equality when it comes to guilty and innocent in the Bryan Kohberger case. As much as he could be guilty, he could be innocent. As much as he could be innocent, he could be guilty. But with the FBI's involvement and this the way it looks like this case is being almost like reverse engineered, what if the FBI had utilised some kind of methodology in that period of time that we know that they pretty much had Bryan Kohberger in the sights, but they were delaying things. They were delaying. Now, this playpen situation, that took them 2 weeks. They basically took over this site for a period of 2 weeks. Now, the other argument was that, in effect, they became the distributors of the stuff that they were sort of going after people who were distributing, and they done it better and more efficiently and worse. You know, this was thousands and thousands and thousands of images that the FBI peddled across the internet in order to capture people. And I suppose the question then becomes, when do the ways outweigh the means, if you like? When does what you're doing then become worse than what you're actually chasing? And is that something that we can ask ourselves in the Bryan Kohberger case? What if the FBI used methodology that is unconstitutional in the capturing of a person who indeed did this crime? Would people be okay with that? Would you be okay with that? And are they now trying to reverse engineer a case in order to hide the methodology used because they don't want people to know what they're willing to do and the lengths they're willing to go in order to capture someone? And now this is about trying to find a way of proving that this person did this crime the right way. And I know we're now venturing into the realms of, okay, so what are you doing now? You're saying Bryan Kohberger did it. I'm saying that with respect to this case, I am on the fence. I am willing to say innocent until proven guilty. That the person who is accused should be entitled the assumption of innocence. But like I've said, equally, that does come with the assumption of guilt also. There is not a situation in the Idaho 4 case that we could confidently say that even though the evidence placed before us is circumstantial at best, it doesn't mean it doesn't exist, and it doesn't mean that it doesn't come with its problems and challenges. But it just, listening to what the FBI were willing to do with this playpen situation, how they were willing to, in order to capture the people they wanted to capture, that they were willing to become the villains themselves, to get in the mud, if you like. They were willing to get down into the mud in order to become those that they wanted to capture. But when push come to shove, they just weren't willing to disclose how they got to the conclusions, and they let people go. Now, is that what's going to happen in the Idaho 4 case? And again, I ask the question, how do you feel about this situation? If indeed they know it's Bryan Kohberger and they used perhaps unconstitutional methods to get there, would you rather Bryan Kohberger walks, or would you prefer that he does not work? I know this is a different walk, sorry. I know this is a difficult question. It isn't an easy one, but it's one I think that we should rarely be asked. It's one that we should consider and discuss, and I'd be interested to get your thoughts and feelings on it. Do you feel that if somebody is truly guilty and the ways that the system got there are indeed unconstitutional, what do you do with that? And could the Idaho 4K see Bryan Kohberger walk because the FBI are unwilling to disclose methods that they used? And is Ann Taylor likely to exploit that? Let me know down below, and I'll catch you all in the next one.